Welcome to Coffee with Bridget. Today's coffee is Friendly's Butterscotch Swirl, and it is pretty yummy. I like this coffee a lot. So today we're talking about the Virgo full moon. Now, there's a lot of energy I like about this full moon. There is major energy that is going to be a little bit tough for most of us. First off, this is at 12 degrees of Virgo, which breaks down to 3, which is a number for growth. So we are going to be growing this full moon cycle. The next 2 weeks is going to be one of growth. The second thing that I noticed when I was looking out the chart right off was that Black Moon Lilith is squaring this full moon. So our fears are going to come up. We're facing our fears this full moon. Whatever that fear is, it's going to play a really central role in the next 2 weeks. The good news is there's a Pisces stellium. We have Mars, Venus, Mercury, all in Pisces along with the sun. So our conscious mind, our willpower, and our heart and our mercurial mind are all basically focused on the same thing. So we are in alignment. So when we're in alignment, we don't have this wishy-washy feeling. We are determined. So we have the determination to overcome these fears that are coming up with Black Moon Lilith. And other than that, it's mostly sweet energy in the chart, mostly trines and mostly conjunctions. So a lot of good positive energy in the chart. It's just that we have that Black Moon Lilith square, which really brings up the fears. They could even be irrational fears. But the message of this full moon is basically by overcoming our fears in the next 2 weeks, we are going to grow a lot. So let's get into the tools for this full moon. And you can find out the tools in my book, The 13 Moons, every week or every month and every new and full moon. So for Virgo, we have a black candle, and this is a grounding candle. So this is black because Virgo is an earth sign, and earth is in the northern direction of the medicine wheel. So we use black to represent earth. Then our sound tool for this full moon is the drum. And the drum, of course, is a very grounding, visceral sound. So definitely lean on that in the next 2 weeks, just to be in an alignment with this full moon and to ground yourself. The incense is sandalwood, and sandalwood is another great grounding tool. So that will help us be in the moment, help us ground while we're overcoming our fears. Our tea is Rubio's tea. This is a cranberry hibiscus Rubio's tea. And Rubio's is a gut tea. It really works for the gut and helps with willpower. So it's kind of revving us up so that we can really overcome whatever fears we are facing in the next 2 weeks. The stones are black tourmaline. And black tourmaline is a grounding stone. It's also purifying. So this will help us keep in the moment. And the other one is dragonstone. And this is a stone of courage. So both of these stones will work beautifully with this energy that we have for this full moon. And I associate these with Virgo for various reasons, which you can read in my book, The 13 Moons. So really, we're overcoming our fears. We're going to work on ourselves this 2 weeks, and it's going to be a rough ride, but we're going to make it through. I know I personally have major events coming up. 2 major events that have the potential to be very life-changing. And so, I'm going to be right there with you facing my fears. And it could be subconscious fears. This is a lunar eclipse. So the lunar eclipse cuts off something from the subconscious. So once we face these fears will become nullified. They will no longer be something that can control us, something that influences us. It'll be something that we face it, we overcome it in our life, we grow as a result. That's pretty much the cycle that we're in for the next 2 weeks. So it's a very positive thing. Growth is always good. So I really am wishing you the best. I'm going to pause for some coffee. Wishing you the best, because it's going to be hard. It's difficult. Right now, what's going on in the world is difficult. It is not an easy time for people. I know a lot of people who were triggered by recent events, and that's perfectly fine. So we're just going to roll through it. And, the more you face a fear and say, okay, this is not really that scary, or I faced it and I overcame it, the sun comes up. That's the thing that I say. The sun comes up the next day. So even though personally I have events scheduled that I kind of feel like are like a cliff and I'm about to fall off that cliff, I know the sun is going to rise the next day. I know I have to keep on living. Things keep on going. So even in those moments where we want to shut down, we want to turn off our brain, and we don't want to deal with it, the fear is overwhelming, know that the sun is going to rise. The new day is coming. In my oracle reading for this week, I pulled a lot of ones, and that's a new beginning. This is a new, fresh start. Now, it may be starting off a little bit like a roller coaster ride, but it is a new start, and that fresh energy can be directed in any way. So as long as we are working with that energy in a way that is beneficial for everyone, you can't really go wrong. It's when we become selfish, when we close down, where we are only out for ourselves, that's when things go a little bit off the rails. Because at the end of the day, the energies that exist support unity and supporting others. And that is always the way to hazard when you are trying to decide which way to go. Is, should I do something that's more selfish, or should I do something more community-based? Community-based and service to others is going to get you in better places. And so having that mindset can help you really get through this time. This too shall pass. So even though we know the energy universally is a little bit difficult, we're facing fears as a collective, know that it's just a temporary phase. Everything changes. And this is just a 2-week area where things are going to be interesting. And that's just the energy of now. That is the energy that's influencing us. But that energy is going to shift and change with the new moon. And no, I haven't snuck at a peek at the new moon to see how that goes. I should have looked at the new moon to see how the energy shifts. But let's focus on the now. And the now is we're going to be facing our fears. And I think I will pull a card for the collective, just because this is such an interesting energy. So give me just a moment to shuffle. So I'm just pulling one card for the collective that's watching this video as a little bit of guidance. I pulled Soul Retrieval. Soul Retrieval is one of the most difficult cards. Soul Retrieval is hard because there's parts of us that we've disowned that we haven't faced. So we're facing disowned parts of ourselves for this full moon. And that can be difficult. When you disown something, if there's an aspect of you that you've disowned, then it's really difficult to own that energy. And so this is a big shadow work moment then. Soul Retrieval is big shadow work. So, and that makes perfect sense because the subconscious is that lunar eclipse. So subconscious shadow work, we're bringing something out of our subconscious, we're facing our fears, and we're overcoming them. And that's the key message, is that we're going to overcome them because everything else is in alignment. We have Mercury, Venus, and Mars all in Pisces working together with the sun, which is our conscious mind. So we have what it takes to overcome this situation in this time period. We are just in that moment where we have to face our fears, and that can be difficult, but you have all the tools that you need to do it and be successful, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And once again, the sun's going to rise the next day no matter what happens. So wishing you the best of luck. Thank you for joining me for this Coffee with Bridget. Take care and bye for now.